Welcome back to the Universal Things YouTube channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most chilling, thought-provoking, and mind-blowing questions of our time. What if World War III started tomorrow? Before we take this journey through alternate realities, military secrets, and terrifying scenarios, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Universal Things YouTube channel. This video will take you through twists you never saw coming. So stay with us to the end, you won't want to miss a second. Imagine waking up tomorrow to the sound of sirens. Not the ones you hear in movies, but real ones wailing across cities. Your phone buzzes with emergency alerts. Social media is flooded with panic, and news anchors are visibly shaken. Something huge has happened. A flashpoint somewhere in the world has exploded, maybe in Eastern Europe, the South China Sea, the Middle East, or even cyberspace, and the dominoes have begun to fall. Welcome to the beginning of World War III. Let's begin with the spark. World wars don't start in a vacuum, they ignite from simmering tensions, long-standing grudges, and escalating hostilities. Maybe a disputed border, maybe an attack that went too far, or perhaps a rogue state launched a cyber strike that paralyzed an entire country's infrastructure. In this version of tomorrow, the spark could come from anywhere, and once it does, alliances activate. NATO gets involved. The United States, as a central power, responds swiftly. China and Russia position themselves. Iran, North Korea, and other wild cards enter the equation. Nations start choosing sides, and in the blink of an eye, the world fractures into opposing camps, each armed to the teeth with the most advanced weaponry humanity has ever created. The first hours would be terrifyingly fast. And like World War II, where troops mobilized by rail and sea, this time, everything happens at the speed of light. Satellites beam orders. Drones strike targets. Hypersonic missiles leave no time to react. Cities could be hit before their citizens even know what's happening. Imagine Washington, D.C. under blackout. New York's financial system collapsing. The internet fragmenting across the globe. But World War III wouldn't just be about missiles and machines. It would be fought on every level: economic, digital, psychological. Think of cyber warfare crippling electric grids, banks, and hospitals. Imagine propaganda campaigns so advanced they divide citizens with lies so convincing they tear apart democracies from within. Now, picture the draft being reinstated in the US. Young Americans, college students, new parents, everyday workers suddenly ordered to train and deploy. Social media becomes a battleground of emotion, patriotism, fear, rebellion, families torn between duty and despair. And here's where the every second wow truly begins. What if the battlefield isn't even Earth? Imagine orbital strikes from satellite-based weapons. Nations targeting each other's space infrastructure. The GPS on your phone gone. Communications jammed. Space becomes the new high ground. Think about underwater warfare. Submarines carrying nukes glide silently beneath the ocean's surface. Drone swarms unleashed like mechanical locusts. Bioengineered viruses released covertly. This is not a war of trenches, it's a war of unthinkable technologies. But let's ask a bigger question. Would anyone win? Could a superpower actually emerge victorious? Or would mutual destruction erase the idea of winners altogether? In the US, everyday life would be shattered. Food shortages, martial law, economic collapse. Cities would become shadows of themselves. Skyscrapers, once symbols of achievement, now haunted by silence. Families would flee urban centers. Rural America might become the last safe haven. Meanwhile, diplomacy scrambles behind the scenes. Secret talks in bunkers. Red phone hotlines ringing. Leaders walking the razor's edge between escalation and annihilation. Because here's the truth. The longer World War III continues, the closer we get to the unthinkable nuclear exchange. Let's pause. Imagine the moment where a nuclear football is opened. Codes input, submarines move, silos prepare. One button press away from wiping out millions. Would a president dare to do it? Would anyone? Or would the fear of global extinction force restraint? And what about the AI? Today's military AI can make split-second decisions. But what if those decisions are wrong? What if eye-controlled defense systems mistake a false alarm for a real attack? What if World War III is started not by humans but by a machine? Now, here's the twist. World War III might not be conventional at all. What if it's an invisible war already underway? Cyber attacks, economic sabotage, AI algorithms manipulating social unrest. Maybe World War III has already started, we just don't call it a war. But let's look ahead. Suppose this global catastrophe unfolds. What does the world look like after? Imagine cities in ruins, but out of the ashes, a global government rises. A new era of peace born from chaos. Or perhaps humanity fractures completely. Nations break into microstates. Borders dissolve. And Earth enters a dark age. Or maybe something extraordinary happens. Maybe facing extinction brings humanity together like never before. Soldiers from opposing sides drop their weapons. A ceasefire sparked by a shared realization. We are all on the same fragile planet. And here's where it becomes truly mind-blowing. What if World War III opens the door to first contact? A moment where extraterrestrial observers intervene not out of curiosity, but to save Earth from itself. A cosmic reset. As we explore every layer of this terrifying but fascinating scenario, ask yourself, what would you do if World War III started tomorrow? Would you fight, hide, run, resist? And more importantly, would humanity survive? Thank you for staying with us through this intense, curiosity-driven journey into a future we hope never becomes reality. If this video made you think, if even one idea gave you chills, then don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Universal Things YouTube channel. Your support helps us explore the unknown, challenge the imagination, and bring you stories that truly matter. Until next time, stay curious, stay alert, and stay human.